Ori, the main protagonist in a franchise widely praised for its creative and mesmerizing narrative and captivating art style, is the heart of a story that transcends traditional gameplay. Developed by Moon Studios, the Ori games are more than just platformers. They are intricate tales of courage, sacrifice, and the enduring power of hope. At the center of Ori's journey is Nibel, a meticulously crafted world that served not only as a breathtaking backdrop, but as a character in its own right. This ancient, enchanted forest is alive with luminescent flora and diverse fauna, each element thoughtfully designed to create an immersive and emotionally resonant experience. Ori was born in the Spirit Tree, the colossal heart of Nibel that radiates life and energy throughout the land. The Spirit Tree, with its sprawling branches and glowing leaves, is not a merely source of sustenance, but also the spiritual anchor for all living beings in Nibel. From birth, Ori exhibited the extraordinary connection to the Spirit Tree, able to channel its light in ways that surpass the abilities of other spirits. But Ori's story began on unexpected terms, but it later turned out that this was the best thing that has ever happened to Ori. Ori's story began as a glowing leaf in the Spirit Tree, waiting to be detached and born like the other spirits before it. But a storm had struck Nibel, and due to its strong winds, Ori was detached from the tree and was drifted far away from where it's supposed to be. But fortunately, Ori's not alone, as another creature named Naru slowly approached to what she saw was a glowing light. As she got closer, the light shined brighter and eventually died down, showing a newborn spirit with the name of Ori. Naru picked it up and embraced it, willing to take in the spirit as her own child. Time passed, and in their quiet shelter they called home, Ori lived a peaceful and joyful life. Alongside a gentle and nurturing mother figure in Naru, Ori thrived, expanding their home and forging together, day by day. But one fateful night, everything began to change. Far in the distance, the Spirit Tree, the very source from which Ori had fallen, began to glow with growing intensity, calling out in search of his lost child. Entranced, Ori stared towards the light, drawn by an invisible pool. Just then, a worried and protective Naru rushed to Ori's side, scooping it up and hurrying back to the safety of their cave. Yet, what loomed on the horizon was far greater than they could imagine. A darkness was staring, one that would soon sweep across the land and change Nibel forever. Nibel has started to decay, while Naru and Ori did their best to survive with whatever they had. That was until they both ran out of food and began to starve. Naru tried to search for any food to scavenge, but unfortunately, luck was not on her side, as she returned to the cave empty-handed. With one foot left, and being the caring mother figure like she always had, this left Ori wanting to scavenge herself. Due to its small size and ability to climb effectively, Ori succeeded and returned to the cave with a handful that could help them last a little longer. But when Ori returned, it discovered something tragic. All alone, with nowhere left to go, Ori wandered aimlessly through the now decaying forest of Nibel, a world once vibrant, now dimmed by loss and imbalance. Weakened by fatigue and sorrow, Ori pressed on, each step heavier than the last. Eventually, the small spirit collapsed atop a fallen log, its light fading, breath stilled. The bell grew silent, mourning the fall of one of its last radiant hopes. But Ori's story was not meant to end there. In that moment of darkness through the fog, the spirit tree sensed Ori's fading essence. With a powerful surge of celestial energy, it cast forth a wave of light across the forest, rekindling Ori's spirit. Bathed in his glow, Ori was reborn, fragile yet filled with purpose, marking the true beginning of a journey that would decide the fate of Nibel itself. Revived and now bound by a deeper connection to the spirit tree, Ori awakened with renewed purpose. What once seemed like the end became a beginning of a journey, an odyssey to heal Nibel and restore the fragile balance of its home. With newfound resolve, Ori set out into a world cloaked in darkness, guided by the ethereal voice of Sane, a radiant spirit and fragment of the spirit tree itself. Together, they journeyed across the fading glades, ancient ruins, and shadowed caverns, each place brimming with haunting beauty and hidden danger. Every step tested Ori's strength and spirit, as Nibel, once vibrant, now withered under the weight of corruption. Twisted creatures, crumbling paths, and deadly traps stood their way, all echoes of a world on the brink of collapse. Ori soon arrived at the roots of the spirit tree and learned the true weight of the journey ahead. To recover the stolen light of the spirit tree, that light, the very essence of balance in the bell, had been shattered into three vital elements: the waters, the winds, and the warmth. Each was hidden away in sacred long-forgotten places, now overrun by the decay. Sane revealed that only by restoring these elements could Nibel be brought back from the brink. Fueled by a flicker of hope and the heavy burden of being the last living spirit, Ori pressed forward, driven by love for a home now on the edge of ruin. Ori's quest first led to the Ginso tree, a towering ancient tree where the waters once sustained the lifeblood of the bell. Now corrupted, the tree had become a twisting labyrinth of thorny vines and unwelcomed parasites. As Ori and Sane approached the sealed entrance of the Ginso tree, Sane revealed that the water vein, a sacred key-like relic, was needed to unlock its path. Just then, they spotted a mysterious Gumon named Kumo, scurrying away with it in hand. Determined, Ori chased through the tangled forest and rocky cliffs, but the pursuit led to a cunning trap, sending him tumbling into Gumo's hidden lair deep underground. Alone in the shadows, Ori made his way back up, still chasing Gumo for the relic. When Ori got closer to Gumo, the frightened creature tried to once more block the way, only to ironically get himself trapped beneath the very stones that are meant to hold the small spirit. Ori climbed through the falling rocks and compassionately rescued Gumo from the rubble. Moved by Ori's kindness, Gumo quietly walked away, and without a word, offered the water vein in return, a gesture of trust that marked the beginning of an unexpected bond. With the water vein in hand, Ori could now enter the Ginso tree and restore the flow of life-giving water to Nibel. With unyielding courage, Ori climbed his core, narrowly evading the dangers that awaited at every turn. At its heart, Ori reignited the element of waters, cleansing the corruption and restoring the flow of life. But victory soon came at a cost. The water surged back with overwhelming force, flooding the tree from within. Ori climbed desperately, racing against the rising tide to avoid being swept away. Barely escaping, Ori collapsed atop the tree, exhausted yet safe for now. As Ori thought it was over, an even greater threat loomed, unseen. In the shadows soared Kuro, a massive fearsome owl with eyes burning with fury. Driven by grief and vengeance, she hunted Ori without mercy, determined to extinguish the last spark of light that dared to defy her sorrow. Next, Ori must brave the storm-lashed expanse of the Forlorn Ruins, once home to the Gumon, an ancient and advanced civilization now frozen in time. But before Ori can enter this sacred place and restore the element of winds, a key must first be found, the Gumon seal, hidden deep within the heart of the misty woods. Shrouded in ever-present fog, the misty woods distort reality itself, twisting and shifting their paths to disorient and deceive. Yet, with unwavering resolve and nimble instinct, Ori pressed on, guided only by Saint's whispers and the faint flicker of scattered lights. Through illusion and uncertainty, Ori found clarity, moving closer to the truths buried within the forest haze. Triumphantly, Ori retrieved the Gumon seal, unlocking the long-lost path into the frozen remnants of the Gumon civilization. Within this icy tomb, Ori braved inventive puzzles, gravity-defying challenges, and dangerous encounters, gradually mastering the ancient mechanisms left behind. In doing so, Ori reawakened the element of winds, restoring its power and allowing gentle breezes to once again sweep across the bell, breathing life back into the land. But peace is short-lived again, as the ruins began to collapse, causing Ori to make a narrow escape. Once Ori escapes the dangers of the collapsing temple, it stumbled upon a hidden nest, which they later found out it belonged to Kuro. There, the truth was revealed. A story not of malice, but of loss. Just before the decay of Nibel, the spirit tree released a radiant burst of light to summon Ori. That very light, though pure in intent, claimed the lives of Kuro's offspring, leaving her grief-stricken and broken. Blinded by sorrow and desperate to protect her last remaining egg, Kuro lashed out, stealing the light of the spirit tree and killing all of the spirits present in a desperate act of vengeance and maternal instinct. Still cloaked in the shadows of her nest, Kuro discovered Ori and Sane's intrusion. Her piercing gaze, filled with fury and pain, locked onto them, and without hesitation, she striked, swift and merciless, forcing Ori into a desperate escape. With razor-sharp talons within reach, Ori relied on stealth, instinct, and reflexes to slip through the danger. Each heartbeat was a race against death, every move a gamble. But fortunately, Ori narrowly evaded the owl's grasp, vanishing into the undergrowth and finding momentary safety, though the threat remains ever close. With the elements of water and wind now restored, only one remained. This final essence lies locked deep within the heart of Mount Horu, a volatile volcano where the land still trembles with fire and fury. But to enter, Ori must first retrieve the ancient sunstone, hidden high atop the peak of Sorrow's Pass. Empowered by the revived winds from the forlorn ruins, Ori began the skyward journey, riding the gentle currents with newfound grace. The ascent is perilous, demanding precision, agility, and unwavering focus. Yet, with Kuro's feather in hand, Ori glided through the narrow passages and braved the biting winds, soaring higher where it needs to go. At the mountain's peak, bathed in golden light, Ori claimed the radiant sunstone, the final key needed to unlock the fiery heart of Mount Horu. At last, Ori ventured into the volcanic heart of Nibel, where the final element lies dormant within a searing core of molten fire. Surrounded by rivers of lava and unstable terrain, Ori faced the most punishing trials yet. Each step demanded unwavering resolve, every leap a defiance of overwhelming heat and destruction. But through sheer determination and skill, Ori endured, overcoming the chaos to restore the final element. Warmth returns to Nibel, rekindling the life force once lost. However, upon restoring the warmth across the land, Ori faced one final confrontation with Kuro. Meanwhile, all this time, Gumo has silently followed Ori's journey. Inspired by Ori's courage and compassion, Gumo made a selfless decision. Venturing to the cave where he first discovered Ori, he found Naru's lifeless form. Using the ancient Gumon relic he salvaged from the Forlorn ruins, Gumo revived her, breathing life back into the one who once gave it to Ori. United by gratitude and love, Naru and Gumo set out to find Ori, but eventually they part ways. With fierce determination and a mother's heart, Naru ventured alone into the blazing depths of Mount Horu, driven by a single unwavering purpose: to reunite with her child. Returning to Ori, the small spirit narrowly escaped the fiery collapse of Mount Horu, caused by the restoration and Kuro's fury. With the three elements finally restored, only one task remained: to return Sane to the spirit tree and rekindle the light that will heal Nibel once and for all. But as Ori neared the final destination, Kuro struck with brutal precision, landing a devastating blow that knocked Ori unconscious. In a flash, she seized Sane, prepared to extinguish the last hope of the forest. Just as she readied for the final strike, Naru arrived, her timing nothing short of fate. Rushing to Ori's aid, she picked the motionless spirit into her arms, a gesture overflowing with unconditional love, which caught Kuro off guard. Before her eyes, the sight of Naru cradling Ori sparked a flood of memories of her own lost children, taken from her by the blinding radiance of the spirit tree. The pain, the grief, the love, it all returned in a wave that pierced through her rage. In a climactic and emotionally charged moment, Kuro witnessed the forest collapsing around her and realized the devastating consequences of her vengeance. Her final child, the last remnant of her love, now in danger. Moved by Ori's unwavering courage and selfless love shown by Naru, Kuro made a choice, not out of rage, but of redemption. With a final heroic act, Kuro soared into the sky, returning Saint's light to the spirit tree. As radiant energy floods the land, Kuro embraced the light that once took everything from her, this time giving everything back. In her sacrifice, she not only saved her child, but all of Nibel. Balance is restored. Life surged across the forest, vibrant and renewed. Ori, now wiser and forever changed, reunites with Naru. Gumo joins them, their bond forged through hardship and healing. Together, they welcomed Kuro's final egg into their home, an act of grace, gratitude, and hope for a future shaped by compassion rather than loss. As time passed, peace settled over Nibel. One fateful evening, Ori gazed out at the spirit tree from afar until Gumo's call beckoned it back to the cave. There, a new chapter of life had begun. The family welcomed the new companion into their home, Ku, the surviving child of Kuro. Though born from sorrow, Ku brought with her the promise of hope. Time flowed gently in their tranquil haven. Ori, Naru, and Gumo raised Ku with care and love, nurturing her spirit and encouraging her dream to one day soar across the skies. Ku's damaged wing kept her grounded, her dreams seemingly out of reach. But Ori, ever resourceful and full of heart, fashioned a special flight aid using Kuro's feather. With Gumo's help, they crafted a wing that defied limitations, granting Ku the freedom she had always longed for. Emboldened by their success and filled with curiosity, Ori and Ku took off into the skies, soaring beyond the familiar forest of the Bell. For the first time, they explored a world untouched by their past, but their joy was short-lived. A sudden violent storm brewed across the horizon, tearing through the clouds and separating them in an instant. Kuro's feather, which was tied to Ku, was immediately launched off. Ori flung from Ku's side, whilst plummeting into the unknown, a land called Nuen, mysterious and shrouded in secrets. Ori awakened alone in the unfamiliar wilderness of Nuen. the storm's fury having scattered everything it once knew. Separated from Ku and surrounded by strange otherworldly landscapes, Ori pressed forward, driven by determination, curiosity, and hope of reunion. Along the way, Ori ventured downward into the unknown, and it stumbled upon a luminous yet delicate spirit tree, its gentle glow calling out like a whisper in the dark. Compelled by this light, Ori reached out, and in that moment, absorbs its potent essence. A surge of energy overwhelms the small spirit, and Ori collapses, forever changed by the power now coursing within. Meanwhile, back in the bell, Naru and Gumo searched tirelessly, with their hearts heavy with worry. Throughout the night, they scoured the land, clinging to the hope that Ori and Ku are still alive. Just as despair began to set in, the first light of dawn revealed something new. A faint outline of a distant land across the water. Hope rekindled. Naru and Gumo set out without hesitation, driven by love and the unbreakable bond of their family. Braving the unknown, they embarked on the daring journey, determined to find the ones they held most dear. Ori awakened once more, this time greeted by the curious eyes of the Moki, gentle, spirited creatures native to Niue. Kind and full of wonder, they welcomed Ori and shared tales of the land's troubled past. They speak of a great voice, once belonging to the spirit tree, now echoing within Ori, marking the small spirit as someone extraordinary. But as Ori ventured back to the surface, their words quickly turned somber. They revealed that Ku was last seen falling into the Silent Woods, a place abandoned and overtaken by shadow. Once home to many creatures, including the owls and the Moki. Seeing Ori's determination to find Ku, the Moki guided the spirit towards Qualok, the wise guardian of the marsh, an elder who may know the path through the cursed forest. Ori braved the dangerous paths of Inkwater Marsh, eventually reaching Qualok, the noble and solemn guardian of the marsh. grave wisdom, Gwalak revealed that the only way to reach Ku in the Silent Woods lies through Niwen's waterways, now choked with decay and corruption. To cleanse them, Ori must take a detour to the ancient wellspring, a colossal watermill whose mechanisms have long since fallen into disrepair. Resolute and guided by the wisp representing the voice of the forest now within, Ori sets out towards the ruined heart of the wellspring. Through crumbling gears and relentless foes, Ori persevered, solving puzzles, evading deadly traps, and narrowly escaping a fierce guardian lurking within. At last, the wellspring roars back to life. Clean water surged through Niwen once more, washing away the corruption and restoring life to its veins. With the past now clear, Ori can finally step into the haunting embrace of the Silent Woods. However, after returning to Kwalok, Ori learned that lurking within its haunted depths is a monstrous creature twisted by pain and darkness, Shriek, a fearsome owl feared by all. Deep within the silent woods, Ori finally found Ku. The long-awaited reunion brought a flicker of joy amongst the darkness, and together they attempted to escape, moving quietly with every step shadowed by the ever-watchful eyes of Shriek. But their hope was short-lived. Just as they neared the edge of the woods, Shriek struck with brutal force, her fury unrelenting. The two are torn apart once more. In the aftermath, Ori found Ku gravely wounded. Her breath shallowed, her spirit dimming. In a moment heavy with sorrow, and with the Moke arriving, Ori watched helplessly as Ku, its beloved companion and friend, succumbs to her injuries. Back in Qualok's Hollow, Ori, Qualok, and the Moki gathered in quiet mourning to bid a heartfelt farewell to Ku. The atmosphere was heavy with grief as Ori cradled Ku's lifeless body, overwhelmed by the loss. The voice of the forest, now within Ori, glowed softly. Reaching out in a final, gentle attempt to revive her, but its power alone was not enough. Seeing Ori's sorrow, Qualok revealed the deeper truth behind Nguyen's decline. Long ago, the Great Spirit Willow, which functioned similar to the spirit tree in the bell, shattered, and with it, 5 essential wisps, fragments of its light and memory, were scattered across the land. Without them, Nguyen's spirit has withered, and its light continues to fade. Qualok shared news brought by the Moki. who have uncovered the locations of the scattered wisps, the fragments of the Spirit Willow's essence. The memory lies frozen within the icy peaks of Bower's Reach. The eyes are concealed deep within the tangled shadows of Moldwood depths. The strength is submerged beneath the shimmering waters of the Luma pools. And the heart is buried beneath the scorched sands of the windswept wastes. Though fragile on their own, together these wisps possess the power to rekindle the Spirit Willow and breathe life back into Nuin, just as Ori once did in the Bell. Moved by hope and strengthened by purpose, Ori embarked on a bold and urgent journey to reunite these scattered lights before darkness consumes Nuin forever. With renewed resolve, Ori journeyed to the luminous serenity of the Luma pools. The tranquil waters and vibrant flora masking the dangers that lurk beneath. There, Ori has briefly reunited with Qualok, who has also ventured to these waters, determined to aid in the search for the scattered wisps. After a heartfelt exchange of encouragement, the two part ways, each following their own path forward. But peace will soon be fleeting because not long after, the Moki rushed to Ori with grim news that something terrible has happened to Qualok. When Ori arrived, it saw Qualok possessed by a foul and twisted force of distinct spirit, a creature born from new and spreading decay, and being the same creature that Ori encountered in the wellspring. With initial aggression, Ori was being chased, until it reached the dead end where there is no choice but to confront the spirit head on. After a desperate struggle, Ori weakened the spirit long enough for Qualok to momentarily regain control. In the final act of courage, Qualok destroyed the creature from within, but the toll was too great. mortally wounded, he used his final breath to pass on the wisp of strength and speak words of faith and hope. His sacrifice became a quiet vow within Ori's heart, a promise to honor him by seeing the journey through to the end. Next, Ori ventured north to the frozen majesty of Bowers Reach. The towering peaks shimmer under blankets of snow, their serene beauty concealing harsh winds and hidden dangers. Upon arrival, Ori found the way forward blocked by Bower, a massive bear locked in deep hibernation. Ori used Kuro's feather to stir the slumbering bear, granting Ori the passage into the snowy biome before going back to sleep. As Ori climbed higher through the biting cold, the journey grew treacherous. Slippery cliffs, icy winds, and lurking threats challenged every step. But Ori persevered, drawn by the call of a powerful wisp. At the mountain's peak, Ori finally located the memory wisp, but only for danger to strike once more. Shriek descended from the skies, with her fury unleashing chaos. In a violent assault, she triggered a massive avalanche. Ori snatched the wisp just in time and attempted to escape. When consciousness returned, Ori found safety in an unexpected place, cradled in the massive protective paws of Bauer. Now fully awakened, Bauer shared a vision he saw in his dreams, Shriek's painful past. Born deformed without a parental figure and casted out by the others in her own kind, Shriek grew up alone, shunned and surrounded by darkness. Her sorrow curdled into hatred, and she came to despise the very light that reminded her of all she'd lost and what she could have been. Deeply moved, Ori carried a renewed sense of compassion and purpose. With thanks to Bar and the memory wisp safely secured, Ori restored warmth to the frozen peaks and pressed forward on the path to heal Nguyen. Ori's next journey led to the haunting gloom of Moldwood Depths, a realm cooked in suffocating darkness. Thick webs stretched across the twisted tunnels, and the air is thick with fear and shadow. Navigating cautiously, Ori pressed through sinister layers and stalking horrors that lurked just beyond the flicker of light. The further Ori ventured, the deeper the darkness pulled, until at last, it encountered something that it has to face. Mora, a once noble guardian spider, now twisted and corrupted by the decay. Ori faced the monstrous form of Mora, striking not out of malice, but mercy. Ori ultimately defeated her, which shattered the decay's grip. Freed from the corruption, Mora's terrifying form softens, her true gentle nature emerging from beneath the shadow. No longer bound by fear or rage, Mora retreated peacefully into the newly lit caverns, leaving behind the wisp, the eyes of the forest, for Ori to collect. Now bearing the strength, memory, and eyes of the forest, Ori felt a growing surge of power within. Yet, one more wisp remains. The heart of the forest. Steeled by love, purpose, and the wisps now united within, Ori pushed onward, ready to face whatever trials remained to heal Newen and protect those it holds dear. Ori's final journey to restore the light led to the unforgiving expanse of the windswept wastes. A vast desert edged with the scars of time, its sands drifting through crumbling ruins that whispered echoes of a long-lost civilization. But before even setting foot into the desolation, Ori was met once more by Shriek, whose bone-chilling cries pierced the air and darkened the skies. With danger looming above, Ori must rely on stealth, darting between shadows and shelter, narrowly evading Shriek's razor-sharp talons in a tense, breathless pursuit. Only after a series of heart-pounding close calls does Ori manage to escape her gaze, stepping at last into the endless dunes with resolve unshaken, ready to face the trials buried beneath the shifting sands. Venturing deeper into the desert, Ori stumbled upon an ancient temple, its towering stone pillars and faded inscriptions whispering tales of a forgotten age. Within its silent halls, Ori discovered glowing murals and carvings etched with light, recounting the lost history of Niue. Just as Kowalak once foretold, these sacred images tell of a once thriving land, brimming with vibrant spirits and safeguarded by the radiant Spirit Willow, whose light nurtured life across the realm. But as the Spirit Willow faltered, its essence fractured and scattered, plunging the land and its inhabitants into a creeping decay. Each mural revealed the fragile interconnectedness of all living things, igniting a deeper resolve within Ori to resolve the balance, revive the light, and preserve the beauties still left in Niue. Ori reached the inner sanctum of the temple, where the heart of the forest rests in quiet stillness. As Ori touched the wisp, a surge of light cascades through the chamber as all 5 wisps converge, merging into a single, radiant being of Seir. Bathed in shimmering brilliance, Seir embodied the essence of the Spirit Willow, its presence pulsing with life and ancient memory. With Seir's emergence, Ori's path became clear. Seir must be returned to the Spirit Willow, where its light can reignite the fading heart of Niue and restore balance across the land, echoing Ori's past triumph in the bell. But before Ori can depart, the removal of the wisp stirs a long-dormant guardian buried deep within the temple. Awakened by the disruption, the colossal beast, armored in jagged scales and seething with primal fury, erupts from the shadows with a deafening roar. The ground quaked as it chased, relentless and unyielding. Ori raced through the crumbling ruins, dodging falling debris and leaping across shattered pathways, driven by instinct and desperation. Ori narrowly escaped the collapsing temple, bursting into the scorching desert beyond, with Ser still glowing safely in his grasp. Now standing on the brink of hope and renewal, with the Spirit Willow finally in sight, Ori prepared for the final leg of his journey, ready to fulfill its destiny and restore life to Nuon. Accompanied by Ser, Ori ventured northeast towards Willow's End. But their path was suddenly interrupted as Shriek once again descended from the skies with vengeance in her eyes. She struck with lethal precision, but Ser intervened, releasing a radiant blast that cracked part of Shriek's mask, revealing the sacred vulnerable creature beneath. As Ser prepared to finish the battle, Ori stepped forward. Ori offered Shriek the one thing she never had: compassion. But her torment runs too deep. Recoiling from the gesture, she vanished once more into the skies, her heart still imprisoned by sorrow. Undeterred by Shriek's retreat, Ori pressed onwards towards the Spirit Willow. The path it has to take was dangerous, strewn with towering obstacles, collapsing platforms, and deadly traps born of decay. Yet, Ori moved with grace and determination, drawing upon every skill acquired: soaring glides, precise grapples, and agile leaps that defy gravity. At last, Ori and Ser reached the base of the Spirit Willow. Seir gently merged with the ancient tree, and in that moment, a mesmerizing spectacle unfolds. Light coursing through the bark as the willow briefly flourishes, glowing with renewed vitality. Amongst the radiance, Seir revealed a solemn truth, that the spirit willow could no longer carry the light, as its time has now passed. Now, that responsibility falls to Ori. As the last living spirit, Ori must embrace this destiny and carry the light forward. It is a sacrifice, one that will restore balance to Newen and ensures its future, even at the cost of Ori's own place within it. Before Ori can fully grasp the weight of Seir's message, Shriek returned. With a vicious screech, she snatched Seir with her talons, crushing the fragile spirit and casted it aside, with its light now flickering and faint. She then turned her wrath towards Ori, determined to extinguish the last hope of Newen, once and for all. What followed was a desperate, ferocious battle atop of the crumbling remains of the Spirit Willow. Branches snapped, platforms splintered, and the world quakes beneath their clash. Ori, battered and weary, drawn upon every skill, every memory, and every ounce of courage, dodging deadly strikes and countering with swift precision. Ori fought not just for survival, but for the soul of Newen itself. Finally, after an exhausting struggle, Ori prevailed, as Shriek fell defeated. But utterly spent, the toll of the battle etched deep in every moment. Meanwhile, in the quiet stillness of Koalok's Hollow, a somber atmosphere hangs in the air. Ku laid motionless, surrounded by the grieving Moki who gathered silently, their eyes reflecting the fading light of hope. Naru and Gumo arrived, breathless and burdened with dread. Their hope faltered as they witnessed the heart-wrenching sight. Grievously wounded and weary from the battle, Shriek stumbled away from the chaos, her strength fading with every step. Guided by sorrow rather than rage, she returned to the Silent Woods, the place of her birth and abandonment. There, amongst the twisted roots and the skeletal remains of her parents, who she had never truly knew, the fury in her heart faded, replaced by a haunting stillness. As her eyes dimmed and the last breath escaped her, Shriek found peace at last. A long ache of loneliness finally silenced. Back at Willow's End, Ori weakly stood, yet the fire within remains unshaken. With each agonizing step, memories flood Ori's mind, of laughter shared with Naru, Gumo's steadfast loyalty, Ku's innocent wonder, and the guiding wisdom of Qualok. Every sacrifice, every bond, every moment of light carried Ori to this final point. As Ori finally reached Ser, it paused, eyes lingering on the worn feather of Kuro, an album of love, loss, and unbreakable connection. With a quiet breath, Ori released it, watching as the feather rised into the air, dancing quietly on the wind, a final farewell to all that was. A soft glow lingered where Ori once stood. Ku, Naru, Gumo, and the Moki gathered silently, mourning Ori's absence. Then from the earth, a small sapling began to grow. Ori, reborn to carry on the Spirit Willow's legacy, a symbol of hope and new beginnings. Time flew gently, and Ori grew into a majestic spirit tree. Naru, Gumo, Ku, and the Moki built their home beside Ori, a family bounded by love and memory. As the years passed, Ku grew stronger and confident. On one golden evening, with a soft hoot, she took flight, soaring into the skies of Niwen, carrying their love with her always. Seasons passed, and time gently claimed Gumo, who departs peacefully. In time, Naru, sensing her own end near, leaned against Ori's trunk, her eyes full of love and peace. With one final gaze, she closed her eyes, resting beneath the spirit she once raised as her own. Though gone, their memories lived on, etched into Ori's bark. Naru, Gumo, Ku, and even Kuro, whose love sparked life anew in the bell in Niwen. Now a towering spirit tree, Ori fulfilled its destiny, nurturing life, guiding spirits, and watching over Niwen for generations to come.